Hey guys, it's ViewMasters Reactions, and we're back with Campaign 2, Episode 31, Part 2. The Patreon hour was pretty good. We went around, we shopped a little, we met Suvo's Secret. Well, we met Suvo, but it was Suvo's Secrets. That was the shop. Hilariously funny. Had a bag of the weirdest shit, a hand of an owl bear, and a mask with fangs that we ended up buying. Started spinning this whole yarn about a spectral locomotive, and it ended up being, it was just bullshit. You guys know what I mean. She was saying something about the mask being cursed, but it was all for shits and giggles. We got a lot of paper. We got a lot of ink. We got Bo her bracers. We had Ford ride all the way south as far as he could in a week because he has to be back in 2. So he went a week south and a week back, and he rolled kind of poorly and didn't get any information whatsoever. So it was all for naught. Not for naught. It wasn't for that naught. I'm wondering if everyone's going to be like, dude, where'd you go? Because they all kind of saw each other here and there and buddied up. We, at the end, had Bo and Caleb go to the library, the Cobalt Soul, and Bo trained under Tubo. It was funny because at the end they were like, Tubo is fighting Bo with 3 bows, or 2 bows. Well, it was 3 bows, technically, but it made more sense to be 2 bows, Tubo with 2 bows against Bo. I think that's what Sam said. Either way, Bo had this amazing training session, 4 days, each day doing a different thing. The first day was reading. The other days, she learned skills. She can now extort the truth. She could deflect better or something. She could do something that allows her to have quicker reaction time, I think it was. I don't know. We're going to learn in battle. I'm going to start to pick up on the things as they go down in the experience of her fighting. But that was all pretty damn cool. I got to say, Bo had the best experience of everybody. Everybody, for the most part, had the experience they wanted to have. I feel like Ford got the worst end of it all, but he tried. I don't blame him for trying. I would have thought the same thing. Like, all right, where do I go? What do I do? What's the best shot I have at finding something out about what's going on? Obviously, that's what's most important to him right now. He's got to figure out what the hell's going on with him because he's all sorts of mysterious, let's say, to put it nicely. He's got a freaking crystal in his chest. We're jumping in where Bo has just caught 3 arrows. I believe she only took 1 damage from the first 2, 0 from the third, and Tubo says, you have finished your training, successfully done what you need to do. Bo said something along the lines of, oh, so I can't beat the shit out of these guys that just shot arrows at me? And I think that's where we're jumping in. We're going to find out. You guys want to see more of what I do, full unedited episodes, all the shows on the channel, seasons ahead of what you're seeing, hundreds of exclusives you'll only see on Patreon. The link is at the end. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit them all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest. We started Steven Universe, Infinity Train, Centaur World, Quantum Leap 2022, and a bunch of other stuff this week, this month. Check it out. If not, Campaign 2, Episode 31, Part 2.
Impressive. Dairon was not wrong about you.
Dairon was not wrong.
Dairon's been talking about me? Just what has she been saying?
That you are an apt pupil.
Oh, apt pupil. Dairon says
I have things to do, and 4 days with you has been more than enough.
I always remember Dairon, because Dairon is like Dylon.
Escorts you out of the training chambers, so...
Guys, haven't the last 4 days been amazing?
Haven't the last... Yeah, see? What has Ford
Caleb
got
and I
to
go,
say?
let's go!
Whole lot of...
4 days later.
So during this time,
No
Caleb,
news. I mean, at least nothing
So
bad
I had 4
happened.
days,
He had the
to,
option
peruse
of bailing,
I would have spent
or not
the first
bailing, but
day,
going through
trying to
Nicodranas.
research anything I could
He
find
chose
about Johas.
wisely.
The Johassians, mentions of beacons, of them living many lives, their religion, if possible.
Okay. Make an investigation check with the advantage to find all the right information.
Gotta use a different die. Investigation, that is 19.
19, okay. So, on that specific thing,
So
you learn
Bo is like super
about
powered
the Kreen
now.
dynasty,
Not only the bracers,
which is
but the train.
the Jorhassian society that exists in the ruins of Gordranas. So you know that most of them were Drow, Dark Elf, from what you've heard and the ones you've interacted with. Now, the Drow were brethren alongside all elves in the past history until their minds were corrupted and swayed by the terrible silver tongue of Lolth the Spider Queen, one of the betrayer gods. Under her will, they became deceptive, cruel, and violent.
I think we know that.
And when the betrayer gods were defeated and banished during the calamity and the
I know all
divergence that separated
this
the
stuff. Well,
mortal realm
some.
from the gods that once threatened to destroy it entirely, the Drow returned to their subterranean cities to rebuild their power far from the burning light of day. Now, much
The
of the recent
burning
studies into
light
current
of
Drow
day.
society across Exandria speak of growing
I feel like that's
paranoia
from
and
something.
madness that's
Cheers.
kind of seeping in with what seems to be the believed influence of Tharizdun, the Chained Oblivion, seeming, whether it be by proximity of remnants of his power deep beneath the surface that have grown close to these societies, but
That was
there's
some strong
whispers
shit.
and research that say that some of these dark elf societies are being driven slowly mad by this influence.
It was cold as hell, too. It was cold
Strangely,
as ice.
what studies you've been able to find that talk about penetrating the Kryn dynasty's intense boundaries? I fucking looked at you immediately, Alex. I knew where it was going. You see,
You see, you know it too. That means you looked at me because you knew.
Yeah.
I
You
got
knew.
as soon as I
say-
read the word, and I was like,
It's one of those. I was going to say, she's saying it like you should have known
missed you.
before you
He
said
missed
it, but he didn't notice till he read it.
but for those who were able to move past the boundaries to research more of what little is known of the Kryn dynasty, there is little in iconography under Lothar Tharizdun.
Didn't we miss them?
And what
I
remains of
did.
that is ancient and crumbling and largely ignored by the society.
I
He
also
mentioned of these beacons. He mentioned beacons plural and reincarnation or multiple lives.
I just
There's
reacted
nothing
to
about beacons, nothing
The Last
about
of Us, and I saw
reincarnation,
Ashley
but
Johnson's
however,
in
it does speak of the dynasty worshipping something other, something that is new and dangerous
I know you guys have probably
as far
told me
as
that
the
100 times.
Cobalt Soul is concerned with
But
the
I've
little
never
research they
played
have.
The Last of
They
Us.
refer to it as the Luxon
The Luxon.
and seek to bring all under its burning banner. They've rallied to the surface of Gordranas, casting the skies in eternal midnight that spreads with their dominion. They've begun taking the ravenous hordes of beastmen and terrors of the Jorhassian wastes and indoctrinate them under this new false god.
Well then.
You also learn that a number of people, mostly children of adolescent age, have been found abducted in the night by the Kryn on occasion, though the number has steeply grown this past generation, years after the first open conflicts with the Kryn began. And the last thing you discover is the leader of the dynasty is known as Empress Leilas Kryn. She is called an Umavi by them, though the word's meaning is unknown by current research. Accounts of the Empress speak of her as a powerful and dangerous warrior on the battlefield, and seemingly well over 600
Holy
years
crap.
old or more, as records date back that far since she arrived.
That might be one of the oldest
Local history.
characters we've ever come across.
That's what you've discovered about the Kryn dynasty and Jorhassen.
Spend a day reading about that. I will spend every remaining day reading about. I was rushed the first time I came here, so I'm going to spend every day left reading about the weave of time and any mortal's attempts to control it.
Make an investigation check.
All right, this is awesome. I actually really enjoy this. If I'm aware this is what we're in for, I'm down. If I'm like ready for action and fighting, I don't want to
Things
hear
you
stuff like
discover,
I'm like in this
what's
mood
available
right
to you
now.
in the archive. Time is a constant, the motion moving forward unyielding. Some powerful arcane influences can accelerate or slow the rate at which time passes locally, even stop it. There are some stories from the Age of Arcanum that speak of the greatest of sages experimenting with reversing
I'm like
the forward momentum of time, and supposedly with some success. But the process apparently was so taxing and the energies required so extensive that it nearly killed those who passed through this natural flow. So that's as much as you can pick up on the specific research involving that shift of time. They're more footnotes and like a... We don't mess
Now-
with that because those who've tried have mostly been disintegrated or
Can he
destroyed in the
use
process.
this knowledge to learn spells and stuff,
They
or is he
nearly killed.
solely
Does it
just
talk
trying to
about any
find
of the
out
people
about?
who were nearly
history?
killed but weren't?
Yes, but they existed close to 1,500 years ago.
No record of their names or.
Most of the the names that were in there are none that correlate to anything you'd recognize.
Well, I would still have spent the entire 3 days reading about that.
Okay, and I'll send you those notes later. You do pick up, because of your very high
That's
roll.
crazy,
There
how
are
much
apparently some newer
knowledge
arcane
there is.
experiments regarding time and reality being fielded within the Soltris Academy in Rexentrum. A newer magical energy seems to have been discovered or rediscovered that can seemingly adjust such properties with ease, and it's being referred to as dunamis.
Dunamis.
But other than that, there's very little information because all that seems to be proprietary within the
God,
academy.
this is a crazy
Yeah, good, cool,
aspect
super
of the
cool.
whole thing. This is like so in depth. I'm just thinking of like
Then I'm
Matt
open.
is reading this to him, but Matt
I
had
forgot.
to
I should have looked at
do
my
all
list. I
this.
had like one or
It's
two
not like
other
he's
little
reading
things.
out of a
Okay,
book,
what
even
else
though
would you
he
like to do?
may
Wanna
be.
just
He
walk
had to.
for 6 days and walk back
Created
for
it.
6 days?
I was like, I feel like I came up. Oh, there's more shit.
I was like, are you sure that's all you want to do?
Yeah. We can just say on the way back from those visits at night when I make camp, I want to summon the falchion and spend more time with it, examine it, and specifically the eye, if it has that sort of. In the letter, it looked like there was a gash into the.
Good
into the
call by
sphere
Travis.
itself. Does it represent that?
AKA
Is it smooth?
for-
Does it?
Make more with your
Does
time.
it
The eye, where it sits in the hilt, and it only sits on one side. It's not both sides that contain the eye, because there aren't two pupils. There is a singular eye that is embedded in it, that is looking out what would essentially be towards the left.
Is it like near the cross guard, or is it near the pommel?
No, it's near the cross guard, like in the center of the hilt. When you look at it, it doesn't seem to move or shift or pay any attention. In practicing the next few days and trying some things out, you focus some of your arcane gifts towards an object, casting Witch Bolt towards a nearby rock or low, dried, and forgotten trunk of a tree. And at the moment this incantation begins, the eye shifts to look towards the target of the spell. Then the spell explodes and you look back at the hilt and it's already reverted back to where it was before.
Super fast.
But it did seem to react to when the spell was cast.
Creepy. What the hell does that mean?
Creepy.
Okay. When I get back, could I make my way to?
It's. I don't
the
know if it
gentleman for just a quick
matters
combo?
why it does it.
Sure. All
But
right.
it's definitely
yeah, all right. So
interesting.
you make
And
your way to the
creepy.
evening nip. By the time you've returned, it's been the better part of the 2-week period of time, and you guys are also kind of generally worried the fact that Ford just kind of vanished during this time period.
That's what I figured.
Shopping.
Big surprise.
He left while we were shopping.
Travis is shouting.
I said this. I was like, "Are they gonna bring it up?" I mean, I would. The dude just like dipped, and when I dipped, you dipped, we dipped.
All right. So you make your way to the subterranean basement of the evening nip. The gentleman is not currently present, but upon asking around, you wait for about 20 minutes or so. He does return from the appears to be the.
Now,
the
are we gonna
storage
get
room
new
on the side where
missions?
you had
Is
previously
he gonna
been
go pick
led
from
down
one of
through
these
the
many
underworld.
missions? You could
As
fight
he comes in, he
10
sees you
grizzlies
and kind of sits to the other side of the
naked in a
table,
field of
kind of
elves.
throwing his leg over one side and sitting at a very comfortable and
Sure.
casual way across from you. Ford, I'm being told that you're looking for me.
Yes, I appreciate you making some time for me this evening. Turns out we might be traveling a little bit pretty soon. We are going to be making our way towards the Wayfarer's Cove. Your knowledge of areas outside of Zadash seems so extensive, what with the errands you sent us on. I was wondering, could you share with me any knowledge you might have about criminal underbellies, any, well, competitors you might have in business that's not of an
Say by
official
name.
nature in cities, particularly around
Sabian, just say
Nicodranus,
Sabian. He was saying before.
Guatemala, the Menagerie Coast. Does your reach that far?
I have some reaches in places, yes. That's quite a scope you're requesting.
Yeah.
I would say it's a good bet that most criminal elements you would encounter there are not at my network, except for a handful. It might be more useful to know the ones to trust.
That's where I was kind of going with that.
Okay. And Portamala, you say?
Yeah, it's where I'm from.
Really?
Indeed.
The jewel of the coast. All right.
The
I've been a number
jewel
of
of the
times, though it's been
coast.
years since I've been able to leave my work here alone. So if you're looking to expand your portfolio, abundant stash, that is
The
commendable.
jewel of the coast. Does
The
that
one
mean
contact I can recommend
it
in
is
Portamala
wealthy lands?
would be Father
Or is it just
Dwandeth
a-
Pierce.
Father
Dwandeth
Dwandeth
Pierce.
Pierce.
Dwarven fellow, scraggly in the face, dresses well. He helms the Pearl Shrine, a house of worship to Avandra, the Changebringer. Tell him that you bring many gifts.
I bring many gifts.
Should you not work with Father Pierce in his network, be careful. You could easily find yourself on an opposing side to my business, and I do not take kindly to betrayal.
Well, indeed, I wouldn't dare. After all, you do have a little way of keeping track of where we are and what we do.
That I do.
I appreciate your help in this matter. Hopefully we can be of some service to you down there.
If something comes to mind, I'll send it your way.
Please do.
And if anything comes to mind that would be of interest to my ears, business or otherwise, please keep me informed.
You can be assured that I will. Thank you for your time. I'll leave you now.
Of course.
Nice conversation.
Then he
I
goes off to
dig
get a
it.
drink at the bar. As you turn around,
I dig it.
right there at the steps is Cree.
Cree.
The dark-furred
Tabaxi.
tabaxi. She approaches and goes,
I'm sorry to bother you. I noticed you descend here. I have heard since your last arrival that
Because we
there were
told her different.
losses in your journey.
They told her that Molly was alive.
Well, I have had a number of uncomfortable dreams in the week, and
Look at Talzin.
I cannot sense Lucien.
Why don't we just say what
Tell me
happened?
about these dreams.
I mean, the gentleman already
persuasion
knows.
check.
The gentleman already knows. What's the big deal? I mean, just be like, we didn't know how to tell you because you guys were friends, but passed away. Like, just be honest
18.
at this point.
18.
Clearly, it's an issue. It's not like we're just getting by.
They're cold and sad. They are. I just see him alone,
Oh my god, this is like
and
sad.
I've tried to focus. He is not nearby. I have a very hollow feeling about this.
Why was I gone for 6 weeks? Okay.
Why was I gone for 6 weeks?
Yes, unfortunately, your dreams may have some merit. I myself was missing for most of our journey, and it seems unfortunately that Lucian befell a terrible fate.
That was what I was fearing.
I'm sorry to be the one to let you know. If I was there, I could give you more detail, but I found out much in the same way you are.
That is all right. Thank you for your honesty. It is hard for him to be gone for so long, then come back, and so swiftly go again.
And then go again, yeah.
I put too much faith.
You said he left before and then came back. If you don't mind my asking, the last time that he left, do you remember the circumstances of his departure?
We're gonna find stuff out, maybe?
We of the task takers, we were undergoing a ritual that he had orchestrated with an ally of his, woman of magical renown. He said that this was something that was meant to lead us to this city. He promised place where we could learn of great many powers and secrets.
Is the woman Yasha? I don't think it
Believed
is,
him.
but
He was very charismatic.
no, because she would have
in his
recognized
cruelty
Yasha.
at times. But he did not survive.
And then you saw him here for the first time in quite a while, yes?
2 years.
2 years.
2
That's
years.
what. Yeah, that's about what Molly said.
2 years.
We knew it was around 2 years.
Are you, and forgive me if this is too personal, are you expecting to see him again?
I wasn't expecting to see him this last time. I just feel like whatever grace brought him back to us, maybe it was your carelessness that took him from us again.
Maybe it was your carelessness.
Indeed, maybe it was. You have my apologies and my condolences.
It is all right. I have started a new life here, and it has been serving me well.
Well, I hate to leave you with such sour news, but I must be going.
Such are these days. Thank you for your candor. She just turns around and walks away.
Look at, oh my god, awkward.
Head back to the.
It's like one of those things where you're like, somebody has to do it, and like, what am I gonna do? I'm just gonna have
So
to
you
do
guys
it.
have
I'm
all
just gonna
gathered
have
up at
to-
the leaky tap?
We have
That's,
other stuff
that's
we're wanting to
everyone's
do.
done their stuff.
No, I
There's
have not done
nothing
mine.
else.
All right, what do you want to do? What do you want to do?
It's really simple. I'm going to spend a little time every day. I'm going to find the nicest park in town. I'm going to spend every day spending, and I'm going to meditate and try and get some guidance on. Trying to have another epiphany about what happens next. So I'm going to sit quietly and meditate.
Okay.
Every day, somewhere green, or whatever passes for it in this city.
Roll a wisdom check for me.
Yeah, Dave.
Wisdom check.
No,
No. No.
It's
that was a 1.
okay.
Natural?
You've spent so much of your life in the tranquility of the cold and quiet Savalier Wood, and even in the most nature-based portion of the city of Zadash, the general din and chaos of the city is too distracting, and you're unable to reach that meditative state where you're able to feel connected with nature and with the Wild Mother. So Melora's guidance does not come to you.
I love how even
and
in a
you
bad role,
kinda
that
just
is
have to
so
continue to throw your lot in with
descriptive.
these strange folk that dragged you out of your home.
That's fair. That's fair. I guess the only. No, that's right. We're done. I think we got everything. we need
Yeah,
to do.
everyone's done their
Everyone's
thing.
done their thing.
Oh,
No,
done.
I'm not done.
All right.
I wanted to, well, because I want to make the traveler like me again, because obviously he doesn't, and that's why he didn't come save me. So I'm going to use this 2 weeks to scout out all of the temples to the other gods, and really like see the guard schedules and the pre-schedules, and try to sneak in. And I'll probably enlist the help of Not here.
I'll help you.
Because you're good at sneaking.
Sure, sure.
And then
Well, we do have something we
before
could.
this is true.
We got you something.
Before we do this, this will be extra helpful for you.
What is it? I don't like this. Is it something? Is it made of dead people?
Just check it out.
Made of paper.
So nicely wrapped. It's so tiny.
What is
Well,
it?
it's imagine
So
it's a lot
dainty.
bigger than
It's
that.
tiny. It's just a small cube. Oh, look. It says, "To the bravest rouge we've ever met.
Rouge. Rogue.
From your friendly."
It does say rouge, doesn't
No,
it?
it says
rouge.
rogue.
Oh, it does. I was gonna say.
From your friendly neighborhood healers. You guys can heal? It's a cloak!
A cloak. Oh, they got the cloak.
Oh, it looks so cool and fancy.
Put it on. I bet it changes size when you put it on, because most magical things do.
I will put it on and spend some time with it.
Okay. Able to attune to it and gain the benefits of Cloak of Elven Kind.
That's cute.
Okay. And then.
So now we
we're
go on the
going to
adventure
go
she
and,
gives,
learn
or
to
they
sneak
gift.
in
Okay.
And like really.
Well, you have to
fuck up.
decide which ones you're going to do. They're for in the
How much time do we have? What?
How much do I owe you for this?
You owe us nothing.
It's a gift.
You
They
owe
gifted
Tons of money.
a $400 or $500 cloak. I think it was 450 gold for that
All right.
cloak.
Way more than I'll ever spend.
So there is the Raven's Den, which sits near the ossuary
I
gates.
already fucked with that one.
Alrighty. There is the Hearth of the Allhammer, which you messed with as well a little bit during the festival. There is
Once
the
Jester's
Arch-
done with
the
this, we're
Valley
going to
Archive,
break.
the Cobalt Soul.
That'll leave us with
While it
like an
is
hour
both
and
an
15
archive, it is
minutes
also a temple
for the
to
live
Knowing
stream.
Mistress. There is the King's Hall, which is the center of law, and of course that's where the law master is. You've spoken with a couple of times. That's where you've done your jobs off the task board. That's all.
There's a lot of guards
That's also
there.
the law barrack. Yeah, there's a lot of guards there.
I would
There's
just
the
be like,
Platinum
well,
House,
who has the least amount of guards?
which is temple to the Platinum Dragon. That also exists in the Interstead spot.
Matt, which has the least amount of guards?
Not too
That's
far
where
from
we're
Steam's
going.
Respite, which is the bathhouse.
Ooh.
And
Yeah,
then-
let's do that one because it's close to the bathhouse.
Which one is that? Which god?
The platinum dragon.
Platinum Dragon.
Platinum
That
Dragon.
seems right. What are we gonna do to it?
There's also in the Signet Wall, which is the military district, there is the Shrine of the Dawn, which is to the Dawn Father.
Shrine of the Dawn.
The
Dawn Father.
It's up to you.
Ooh, look at her face.
Well, that's just fitting, isn't it? No, I'm going to do the platinum dragon because it's next to the bathhouse.
Okay, Platinum House it is.
We're trying to destroy this place?
No.
Paint it?
What does it look like?
So as you approach, this beautiful but small white building is draped in deep blue tapestries, while a reflective kind of mirrored sphere sits atop the roof during the day. I think you've passed by and seen it before when you were traversing the city. Are you going for a day or nighttime?
We're just checking it out during the day, you know, like we're visitors.
Okay. But
What is-
the inside
what
is just
is her
open archways
plan?
and floor
I
spaces
need to know
that are
her
made
plan.
available for worship, but also used for meditation. And there are a few folks in there that are just like quietly, eyes closed, taking in the atmosphere of the interior. There's
Her
areas
eyes
for
got
reading and there's areas
huge.
for napping and
Look
sleeping.
at
It's a very
Liam is giggling up there.
of the Bahamut worshipping that goes on in places that you've seen on the Menagerie Coast. This one is a little more new agey than you're used to. About
New Age
noonish when you
Bahamut
arrive, there is
worshipper.
a sermon beginning where there is appears to be the herald of the house, which is a silver-scaled dragonborn. In his older years, he looks very tired and as withered as a dragonborn can through their silver scales. He's in the process of giving this very deeply empowering speech about
The majesty of Bahamut bestows upon us the knowledge and the grace in which we can be beacons of truth and justice in a world that wishes to swallow all with chaos.
I love it.
together.
Is not doing that or Sam? Is that a gesture? A gesture?
But yeah, so that
a gesture?
the
Is that a
midday
gesture
stakeout appears to go well.
back then?
What do you wish to do?
How often
wanted
does he
to.
come back?
I'm
I
sure
mean,
it is. I
He's
feel
there
like I
most
see
of the
Vox
day, and then in the
Machina do
evening
stuff
he
like
appears to go nap somewhere within the Platinum
and
House.
then he gives his sermon during the next day and the next day. We scouted it out a couple days in a row to really get the feel for the guards.
Make an investigation check just to
With advantage,
facilitate.
he's not helping me?
Sure.
So we're really going all in on this. Everyone was like, all right, we're good. Don't waste any more time.
Nine.
And now Jester goes off on like a 20-minute
All right.
journey destroying.
There's a couple
or
entrances, some hallways.
Not necessarily destroying.
Wow.
What do you want to do?
I'm going to take some of the firecrackers we got from Hupperduke. And I want to set them off during his sermon.
Okay.
And then I want to, but I'm going to invoke duplicity so it looks like I'm actually still there listening to the sermon. And then while that's happening, but I'm also
We're doing a lot.
So I also want to look like somebody else while it's happening so nobody can trace it back to me.
That sounds complicated.
Yeah,
Really
this is some
good
complicated
stuff.
shit
And then
just
I
to
want
have.
to run over to, is there a big statue of a platinum dragon?
There is in the center, yeah. It's not built in the floor. It's actually
Draw a dick on it or
held aloft
something.
in the
She's
central
going
kind
to
of
do
dome archway
something
right beneath that
with
glowing
graffiti or art.
Dome at the top.
I have to
is,
assume.
where at nighttime,
I
as
don't
you've
think
seen
she'll
it,
be
it emits
destructive,
this
'cause
kind of
that's
faint white
going a little far.
glow, and it's kind of this beacon in the middle of the darkened city, aside
Even
from
though
the
she's
various
setting
pictures
off
of torchlight
firecrackers, but that's not like
that hit the
destructive.
streets. But beneath it, beneath this dome, you see the large carved, looks almost like a pure platinum, but it's probably a polished silver statue of the dragon, wings outstretched, looking down over the chambers, and hovers about 15 feet off the ground, where all the rest of the folks gather for the sermon and or just sit there to meditate and pray and worship.
What is she gonna do?
This is a really bad time to do this because there's lots of people around. Can I do it at night? Is there less people at night? Would I
She
really
wants to
that
probably
much?
knock
At night there are less
frickin'
people.
dragon down, but
Okay,
it'll
I come
crush
back a
and
second
hurt
time
the
after
people.
setting out the fireworks. Now the next time.
We're here again.
We're here
Right.
again.
All right.
This time I'm coming prepared with my paints and like a mustache,
Your anarchist group.
an anarchist,
So what's
a
the...
couple brochures for the traveler,
Sure.
and like I steal Cad's straw hat that he bought. Sorry, and
Steal his straw hat.
Yeah, we're gonna make the Platinum Dragon look like a really cool farmer.
Yeah, you do.
All right.
Yeah.
He rolls. You stole
Okay.
my straw hat.
We're
Yeah,
just
I'm
gonna
roll for
mess
that.
with the statue.
Yeah, that's what I do. Is it
And what
stupid
if
or
someone
something?
comes in? We just kill everyone in the place.
No, if somebody comes in, you need to distract them, okay? So don't let anybody see me, because this might take a while.
I couldn't find a good place to stop. Right before Laura said, wait, I want to do one more thing, Cad was going to do something. I think he was going to do the gifting to Not, and then he was like thinking, hey, let's not waste any more time. Let's get into it. Let's see what we're doing next, kind of thing. And then Laura's like, no, wait, hold up one second. This is the most elaborate way to tamper with the statue. But hey, I'm totally on board. I was just thinking, this can only go on for like 5 minutes. She's still going, and we're in 5-10 minutes already. So it might be about to end, but if we keep going right now, we have about an hour and 10-minute live stream, the shortest one yet. So rather than continue down the road and have her go on and on and on, which I don't mind, I just don't want to assume it's going to end and then keep waiting, because then we'll have no live stream. I want to at least have a solid hour and 10 minutes. I think we got that. We spent a good amount of that time having Matt read us lore while Caleb was reading the books in the library. Amazing background stories. I was saying how it's so interesting that Matt is reading it off of a book because he obviously has written all this down, but he created this world. And there is so much going on. He actually had to create an entire history and lore and artifacts and lineages of people and families and houses, so to speak, that created this world that will somehow lead to other things based on what Liam wants to know and asks. He's got to have like answers for it. So he has to go really in depth with knowing, or at least having an idea of where this could all go. For instance, like the Tusk Love thing with the book. I mean, this is in depth though. We're going deep into all these different lores and stuff. What I want to know is, what is Caleb's angle? Is the angle that he just wants to learn more about the world because he's just interested in gaining knowledge of the history and everything like that? Or does the history actually lead to learning new abilities and spells or something? Like maybe you have to read up on history so you gain knowledge of what is out there that you could seek, that might be like a super enchanted weapon or some kind of object that will give you ultimate power. Is that what he's looking for? I'm not sure what he's looking for. All I know is it's interesting, and I could sit there all day listening to Matt explain it and describe it all. I'm just wondering what his angle is. It could just be as easy as him wanting to know history of the world because he just likes that aspect of things. And I said myself during the episode, I do love my fighting and brawling and drinking and stuff like that, but every now and then I do like to dive deep into the world, and I was in the mood for that today, and this was what we got. So I'm just curious in the world where it could go, because I'm not, 100% familiar with the world of D&D or what people do. Maybe his goal is like, one day he's going to find out in the history books that there was this ancient orb that gives you 10 plus armor class if you hold it and scream the words, I have the power. I don't know, something insane like that. Or is it just the love of knowledge and history? I grew up with a brother and a father who were obsessed with the History Channel, so I totally understand diving deep into just knowing about the world you live in. It was also adorable that Jester and Cad bought not a cloak. I thought it was cute. It's showing everyone bonding, getting along fancily. I thought it was a little odd that when Ford went and talked to the gentleman and Kree came over, I read the subtitles and it sounded like the subtitles said, but unless I misunderstood, it looked like Kree was sort of blaming Ford for the death of Lucian, aka Molly. She was like, yeah, maybe your carelessness caused this or something like that. Maybe I misunderstood it, but it seemed like she was blaming him, like, yeah, thanks a lot or something. I don't know. That was weird and awkward and uncomfortable. And Ford was like, thanks a lot for letting me have to do this. But obviously, like, no one had a say in it at that point. We did learn a little bit more about the whole thing that went on, the ritual, and we knew what they were called, but she did say we didn't expect him to come back from the dead. I didn't expect to see him the first time. So there doesn't seem to be more to do with that, at least dealing with Kree and them, than we need to know. And the only creepy thing of it all was she was like, I'm having these dreams that he's all alone and it's dark and cold. And that was spooky and sad, because I believe she really is having these images. And obviously she knew something was up, alone and cold in like this dark place. Like, do we have to help him move on? I feel bad. Like, I feel like there's something we still need to do to help him move on or something. Is that going to be a thing? Do we have to help Molly? I don't know. We're jumping into the live stream on Friday in 2 days. We got an hour and 10 minutes. Shortest live stream yet. You guys want to see more of what I do? Full unedited episodes of all the shows on the channel. Seasons ahead of what you're seeing. Hundreds of exclusives you only see on Patreon. The link is in front of me. Dozens of shows you'll never see on YouTube. I just don't have time to edit it all. Doctor Who, Person of Interest. We started Steven Universe, Infinity Train, Centaur World. Started Quantum Leap 2022 this week. We're starting episode 2. Check it out. If not, comments down below. Like and subscribe. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.